Hey folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Moon Knight #1 by Marvel. Now there is violence, killing, weapons, stealing, prostitution, maybe a little bit, Egyptian gods, attempted murder, beatings, and, what else? Oh, gambling in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here you see the names. I recognize some of these. Danny O'Neill. There you have Bill Sienkiewicz. He did I think the cover and the interior art as well, if I'm not mistaken. And I need to check. But no, this and what's inside do look very similar. But yes, there are the names. All right. So it's been a bit of a while since I filmed a thoughts video. I have read things, just nothing I wanted to film. So I'm a bit rusty, you'll have to excuse me. Yes, I finally finished reading Moon Knight #1. Now this is the facsimile. I do actually have a copy of the original. I haven't even got to reading that one, and then 2 months later this came out. I was like, ah man, I could have had this for 18 shekels. Oh well, now I have the original as well, which is nice. But yeah, so this is the first iteration of Moon Knight. This is how he was originally, because there's the Mark Spector Moon Knight, which I suspect he's different there. Then there's the 2010's Moon Knight, which he's different there. And then there's, I don't even know how Moon Knight is now, because there's been the TV series, so there's probably going to be comics based on that too. Man, I gotta stop changing his look so much. It's gonna become fucking confusing eventually. Although you could say it already has. But yes, this is the first iteration. So, some things are similar though. Mark was a soldier, and the story starts with him working for Bushman, who's a terrorist. But, well, it's not the definition he uses, but yeah, he's essentially a terrorist. Mark is working for him along with Frenchie. And now they're thinking they're just doing some terrorizing jobs to get some money. They don't realize how dangerous Bushman is. So they continue on their rampages. They're in Egypt. Yeah, they're in Egypt. And they reach this village because they've heard there's a digging site, an archaeology digging site. There might be some treasure there. And we meet Marlene, the lovely blonde lady over here. She's also later on in stories. I don't know if she's in Mark Spector Moon Knight, but she was in... I have a trade of Moon Knight from 2010s. That's when the trade came out, I mean. And she's also there, but she's very different. Not look-wise, though, but... Yeah, you can tell there's some differences. But anyway, she's the daughter of this archaeologist. They found this digging site, you know, with all these artifacts and treasure. And they want to exhibit it in museums, show it to the world. And then Bushman gets his grabby little mitts on it. He's going to, obviously, melt everything down to keep all the gold. As you can see, Marlene's father is holding a golden dagger with jewels in it. Marlene? I hope that's how you pronounce her name. Marlene. But yes, Marlene and her father see Bushman coming from the little house they're in. Bushman's men are rounding up all the people, the villagers, And Marlene's father, like, he has to be stopped. So he takes his dagger and says, Marlene, stay here. I'm going to go out and take care of this. Before this, Frenchie finds out some things about Bushman and tells Mark, we have to get the hell out of here. This is not what we thought. Yeah, I mean, Mark works for him, but I don't think he's too much into condoning unnecessary killing. So, Bushman is standing there with Mark, and Marlene's father is about to, he's behind him, he's about to hit him with the dagger, but Mark's instincts kick in, and he saves Bushman, unfortunately. And Bushman murders Marlene's father. In a very brutal way. Now, Bushman has, his motto for life is, like one big lesson is become the terror. Become something everyone fears. So his face is tattooed like a skeleton, like skull, and his teeth are etched in something and are specially sharpened. So that's how he kills Marlene's dad. He bites him in the jugular. And we don't see details, but you can imagine how brutal that must have been. Mark is horrified. He didn't sign up for this exactly, and he holds Marlene's dad. And their dad, in his dying breath, it says, my daughter, and then in the cabin, save her. So while Bushman is busy talking, he turns around to say something to Mark, but Mark is already gone. Mark goes to the cabin, finds to the little house, finds Marlene, and tells her, you have to get out of here now, your father is dead. And Marlene immediately assumes that he killed her dad, but he didn't. But he tells her, yes, I've killed him, and I'll kill you too if you don't get out of here. They go out to the back of the house, and she gets into a Jeep that's parked there. And she tells him, I hate you, I hope you die. And she gets out of there. And but Bushman saw everything, but he says, I'll forgive you this time since you saved my life. I see you're growing soft on me, Mark. So they go, he and Bushman return to the rest of Bushman's men. And they're rounding up all the people in this village. Frenchie arrives and tells Mark, let's get out of here. They're going to decide. And then suddenly Mark sees from the corner of his eye how Bushman's men round up the people and take out guns. And he's like, they're not about to do what I think they're about to do. And yes, they kill everyone. Just like that. Mark explodes and goes over to Bushman. And why did you do that? They didn't, they were innocent. They didn't do anything to you. He goes in to hit Bushman, but is careless, and Bushman hits him back and knocks him out. Frenchie, what did he do? I think as far away he already left. Or, there's nothing he could do, really. Bushman orders his men to take Mark into the desert to leave him there to die. Yeah, he's not even gonna kill him quickly. Just let him die of thirst and heat. So poor Mark travels, I think, for almost 2 days in the desert. You can imagine how that's been like. Excuse me. And he manages to go right into where the archaeology site is, where Marlene and her own men are. He approaches there, and all the Arab people see him. They're like, "What's that figure?" And then he collapses, and there's a sandstorm as well. The 2 men pick him up and take him inside the tomb. And they lay him down and they call Marlene and said, this man, Marlene just arrives. One of the men brought him in. I think it was Abdul. So Abdul's listens for Mark's heart, but he says he's dead now. So Marlene, there's still grief and anger, says, I'll leave him here, we'll leave him here. He can die. He can rot here for all eternity. Yeah, she's very shocked at herself that she says such things. And obviously still very upset. She just lost her father 2 days ago. Then she tells her men she'll be right there. And then she breaks down crying, looking at Mark. And she said, oh, he was so handsome. I found that a bit funny, like, lady, is that the thing to focus on right now? I suppose it doesn't matter that much. But yes, and and there's a statue of Khonshu. Yeah, I think Khonshu is the right way to say that. I can't call him Kunsha, but it's Khonshu. He's one of the gods of the moon, specifically a god of vengeance. So yeah, Mark is lying there, and you see the statue, and then he suddenly wakes up. Marlene is shocked. Mark looks at the statue and starts to tell you what I just told you. It's the statue of Khonshu, one of the gods of the moon, the god of vengeance. Then he borrows a white sheet. It's probably a piece of fabric. Marlene is like, you were just dead. He wraps it around himself and he says, this is now mine. Yeah, he's about to go and get some revenge on Bushman. He gets out of the tomb, grabs a jeep, and drives off. Marlene runs out after him and tells her Abdul to prepare the other jeep. She's going after Mark. They all stay there. We go to Mark. He's in another town, a small town, where, again, Bushman and his men committed some murder, killed a few men, and they're now forcing the men of the... too many of the word men. The villagers that they killed, they're forcing their wives to dance for them. You know, the belly dancing. And they're all celebrating, and then there's all their weapons there. Mark swoops down, Batman style, and starts kicking ass. Although, he's killing. He kills a few men, he finds some grenades, this is gonna end badly. And then he goes. I don't remember what it was that that caught the attention of the men. But they all go outside to where their cars and everything are. They approach, and that's when Mark throws the grenade. So quite a fair bit of men get killed or injured. And Bushman starts to run, but then Mark is upon him. And he's like, Mark, that you? They start fighting. Marlene comes from behind to approach Mark. But Frenchie grabs her before she can. I think she screams, Mark gets distracted, and Bushman manages to escape. He turns to her and she said, you did it. I can't believe you did it. You almost killed all of them yourself. Except Bushman. And then Mark tells Frenchie, let's get out of here. Frenchie's like, I'll prepare the helicopter. And he looks at Marlene and is like, what's your name? Yeah, give me your name. She said, my name is Marlene. And then he faints. By the way, Marlene's a strong girl. She manages to hold him up still. Then we move on to New York City. I'm going to guess that a long period of time is supposed to go between what happened and then them being in New York. Because we learn that Mark now has his three identities. This rich billionaire, stockbroker in Wall Street, Stephen Grant. And of course we have Mark Spector, and then the cabbie, the cab guy. I think Frankie he called himself? No, not Frankie, something else. But anyway, yes, his three identities. Now, in the far more modern stuff from early 2010s, they made Mark, not made, but now Mark has a mental disorder, DID, and that's why he has these three personalities. But it seems like here originally in the beginning, it's just he had three identities to use. I don't know how much in here he's. Because I don't know, yeah, he acts differently, but I think here it's more him using his knowledge. Because, he is a soldier than just making three characters for himself to play. I don't think it's him having a mental disorder in this case. Also in here, it's not talked too much about what kind of powers Khonshu might have given him. He has, he woke up, he lived, or Khonshu revived him. Because I don't think he has anything like super strength or things like that. It's just, he's like Batman. The weapons and, weapons, money, and skills, essentially. So yeah, here I think it's just three identities he uses, but not a mental disorder. So, yeah, right. Back to this. So, yeah, he goes back to New York with Marlene and Frenchie. So he's the Stephen Grant. He's still Mark Spector. He uses all his identities. He uses the cabbie identity, to gather information. He uses his identity as Stephen Grant to make himself a lot of money with Mark Spector's measly savings. And together, he, Marlene, and Frenchie create Moon Knight. This new terror against enemies and everything. So, and now in this particular, so we get to it. Mark is sitting, recording something. I think maybe the story of Bushman and everything that happened. Marlene goes out to him. She's asking, who are you talking to, Steven? So the current lead, Steven. And he says, no, and I was just recording. He gets a hint that Bushman's in town. That he's now, acquired all the... Well, not acquired, but essentially now controls all the drug trade and everything. So Mark is going to use his cabbie identity. He's going down to gather some information with Frenchie. He tells Marlene to stay there and not follow. And as he goes out, you see the butler. Would you need me to drive you today, sir? Tonight, sorry. Oh, also, you see his really cool helicopter. It looks like a crescent moon. That is really awesome. I love how it looks. Right, so Frenchie flies the helicopter. They're going to take it out for its maiden flight. Marlene's there, looking from the window. Last time I stayed behind, the man I loved died. The last time was her dad. So she's determined not to let it happen again. So Mark gets out in his cabbie identity, goes to this bar, finds out some information where Bushman is, and he goes to this not burlesque club, but kind of more like a gambling place. He changes into his Moon Knight outfit, costume, and goes in. And just like that, Marlene's following behind in the Mercedes. So he goes in, his costume, he's like, hey, where's Bushman? Everyone's shocked, like, the barman's up there. Mark, Moon Knight, goes. And the guy quickly picks up the phone, he's like, boss, and not Bushman, but boss, Someone's coming to you. Mark, they're all shouting. He's like, what? Who? Moon Knight bursts in, start kicking ass. Where's Bushman? After he kicks everyone ass and all the players look shocked, a secret door opens. Mark goes through it. Moon Knight goes through it, and he sees an empty office. He's like, where is Bushman? On the table, he sees the dagger that Marlene's father had. That golden one with the jewelry and everything in it. But then another secret door opens inside the office, and from it, Bushman comes out. And he's like, hello, Mark. He knows who Moon Knight is. They start to fight. Now you can see that Bushman is slightly afraid of him. Mark learned the lesson, as he tells him. Marlene's outside. She lost the chopper because of traffic, but she saw where Moon Knight landed. So she guesses the correct place. She goes into the club and follows him. And she follows him. Inside, she gets in and you can see her through the door. She gasps when she sees Bushman. I'm guessing it's been at least a year, maybe something like that, since the last time. Depending, them making this whole operation, building a special chopper, weapons and all that, probably took a bit of time. I don't think they could have pulled all this shit up in 1 month, So yes. So she's shocked to see him. Bushman, he tries to shoot Mark, but he doesn't succeed. Mark just avoids him somehow. And he's like, that is not possible. You couldn't have done that. Well, I'm guessing that's the abilities Khonshu gave him then. The ability to dodge bullets very well. Or something. I don't know, he's like, oh, that's not possible to do. Oh, there you go. Mark's done it. And that's when he notices Marlene. And Bushman's like, if I can't kill you, I'll kill the girl. He shoots Marlene, but she gets only grazed by the bullet. She's fine. She falls, and Mark attacks him, but is again careless. Bushman grabs him, overpowers him, and he's about to bite him in the jugular to kill him like he killed Marlene's father. But this time, Mark is prepared. He pulls out one of his, the sticks. It's not a stick, but what he uses to fight. Fuck it. I'll leave the name of this here. I just forgot what it is. Right. So he pulls it out and shoves it in Bushman's mouth. So he bites on that, but doesn't get to Mark. Surprised his teeth didn't break. And then Moon Knight is on his ass. He punches him and punches him. And Marlene gets up and she sees like, Mark, no, stop. She says Steven. And yeah, if Marlene wasn't there, I'm pretty sure Moon Knight would have beaten him to a bloody pulp. So yeah, she stops him. She tells him, don't do it. Don't be like him, Mark. Then she manages to stop him. And Moon Knight's like, he's shocked. Like, Marlene, this is the guy who killed your father. He said, yes, I know, but, don't let him spoil, don't let him ruin what we've turned Moon Knight into. They all made Moon Knight into something good. And in an ironic way, Bushman created him. If he didn't leave him out there in the desert, he wouldn't have arrived at this tomb and wouldn't have become Moon Knight. So she tells him, don't let him ruin it. Just leave him. And also the police is also arriving. Before that, they've heard the sirens. So Moon Knight throws one of his crescent moon rings. Moon rings. And then he and Marlene leave. They wait on the roof of the chopper for Frenchie to get them. And that's when they have that talk, don't let him ruin it. And it ends with the policeman arriving. He's in the room where Bushman is, confused. And you can see the Caressent, the moon ring that Moon Knight threw on the windowsill, making a crescent moon on the old Bushman. And that's it. That's how the first issue of Moon Knight ended. It was quite the ride, I will say. Quite the ride indeed. So yeah, it looks like over the years, some of the basic things have remained. The costume mainly, the Khonshu part. Granted, I don't know if it's still in the Mark Spector Moon Knight. I need to read that series too. I want to see if it stayed similar then too. Because it is very very interesting. Using an Egyptian god and exactly kind of powers that he gives Moon Knight. Yeah, and also the whole how in the beginning those are just identities, not a mental disorder that caused them. Also, this original, old Mark is not Jewish, I think. At least it's definitely not mentioned in the first issue. There's still the whole series, which I do hope to get one day, because I would love to read it. And I think I would enjoy it a lot. I already read a comic from this issue, but it's much later down the line. And now that I think about it, Marlene has a brother, so does that mean she had to announce to her dad that he died? And when did she do that? Because it's the same Marlene, right? No, man, I hope I get to read the series in order one day. There's so much stuff in here. But yeah, anyway, this is really cool to read the beginning of Moon Knight. To see how it started from beginning to end. I don't know if Marlene and Mark have a romantic relationship here yet. I mean, it didn't really seem there was much going on in this first issue. So I don't know, maybe not. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed this first issue a lot. It's very interesting to see where it all started. It definitely makes you want to continue to see what other adventures Moon Knight went up to later. Because, Bushman was just one of the first Raleigh villains they had to fight. I don't know what happened to him later. Do we see Bushman again later on? I don't know. It would be interesting to find out. So yeah, that's about it. Good first issue. Oh, yeah, let's get to the art. My apologies. I think I can show you quite a bit, because this came out, all the way in, this came out quite a long time ago already. I'm pretty sure I can show you a fair bit. Just a moment. There we go. I won't show all the pages though, just a few. Still, let's be careful. Marvel are assholes, after all. And there you can see, it's facsimile, because, that's barely the only difference between a facsimile and, reprint, in case you didn't know. A facsimile will have all the original ads that I had back in the day. So I guess it feels more authentic that way, but you can tell by the paper quality. It's not the old stuff. You see, there's Marlene's dad. R.I.P. in peace, my man. I'm guessing Marlene was also an archaeologist then. Wasn't she? Yeah, there you go. You can see. It kind of looks like they're manhandling Mark Kim, but they're trying to hold him up. Surprised they didn't just, one carried the shoulders and the other one grabbed the legs. And see, he's dead. There's Marlene. There's Khonshu. Oh yeah, it was Khonshu's cape. Although I wonder why a statue would have a cape. I think it'd be made out of stone. Yeah, and that's, there you go, the original Moon Knight costume. Oh, look, some kind of game. You saw that on the side. Let me get the... Oh, look at this ad. Drac Pack. That sounds like something I would have enjoyed if I was a kid back then. If I was born back then, that is. Wonder how old my dad was when Moon Knight came out. So yeah, you can see we got all of his identities. Let's see. Maybe I could tell you now who he is. Yeah, there's Stephen Grant. Then we have Jake Loki. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I suppose I'll add it in anyway, regardless. If you couldn't see that, I'll just, well, you can see old Steven. There we go, Bushman's, handing out pendants to his, men. Oh, there's, old Gina. And then that's it all. A lady who works in the diner. She's also been later on in the series. I wonder if that's the original one. And I'll just show you this. His mouth here is hilarious. Look at that. Also, why is he standing bent over like that? I mean, maybe it's just the angle, but it just looks kind of funny. He's bent forward to take off his jacket. Wouldn't you bend a little backward for that? Oh well, maybe it's the angle, but look at his mouth, I don't know, it just sounded funny. And then old Moon Knight swoops down. Yeah, that's the art. Oh, there's the back. Legos. Right? Yeah, that's Lego. And of course the cover. Which I do dig. You see Moon Knight all threatening up there, and you have all the his identities. Sorry for the moving. I dig that. That's really nice. And that is, I think that's, I think Mr. Sienkiewicz did the art inside. But yeah, it looks good. Though some faces are hilarious. But yeah, but here it looks extra good. Look at the details. Good expressions too. It actually makes you feel like you're looking at three different people. Alright, so that is it, folks. That was Moon Knight #1. A good start to the story. I think it really lures you in to find out more. And you get quite a lot in just one issue. Quite a lot to think about and be curious about. Alright, so that is it. Let me know if you read Moon Knight. Any Moon Knight, what did you think? Has he stayed consistently the same over time? Or have you seen any differences? And there have been some differences, but do you think he's still the same? Have you read any modern Moon Knight? Is he still like that? Or is he different? Alright folks, so that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!